Because there is socialism. Look at the Democratic Party.
Oh,
Look at the mindset of most black people. They are socialists in their mind, in that they rely on the government to do for them and tell them when and where and how, rather than doing for themselves. As a matter of fact,
David Pakman gets embarrassed by Jesse Lee Peterson. He tries to back Jesse Lee Peterson into a corner, and you don't put JLP into a corner. Let's see David Pakman get absolutely embarrassed.
on the side of good, and so that we can become one nation
right.
under God again, I would unite the country in that way. The first thing I would do.
I love it. So when you say you want to get rid of those words,
Yes.
would you ban the words? Would you outlaw the teaching of those words in school? Like schools can't use the word racism? How do you do that?
I definitely wouldn't ban the word.
Did you say,
but I
I'm
would
sorry, you
not
said
allow-
you would
I
or you would not? You would or you
I
would
would
not?
not ban the
Okay.
word. You can't ban the word.
Got it.
But I would not allow the schools to teach that to the children and brainwash them
Got it.
in order to do what we see that they have done to the young folks already.
Got it. So school curriculum could not include the word racism.
That's right, because it doesn't exist.
Right.
It's a brainwashing technique to use to divide. We are Americans. We are America. We are one nation under God.
Yeah.
And those words tend to divide us.
Would you ban, and so you don't want any isms taught in school?
No racism, no sexism, no homophobism, no
Homophobic-ism.
Allah Akbar-ism, no white supremacism, and no anti-Semitism. No ism. It's either right or wrong, good or evil.
Now, I'm sure you also then would say that when Republicans use the isms socialism and communism, that's also divisive, right? And wrong.
No, because there is socialism. Look at the Democratic Party.
Oh.
Look at the mindset of most black people. They are socialists in their mind, in that they rely on the government to do for them and tell them when and where and how.
David Pakman is in jackass mode right now. Look at this dude. Yeah, so he's trying to get Jesse Lee Peterson into a gotcha, and again, complete jackass mode right now. Stupid freaking Pac-Man, dude. But yeah, no, there's a difference between how the schools are doing it right now. Because again, when they talk about racism or sexism and stuff, Jesse Lee Peterson is correct. It's a brainwashing technique to try to teach the youth that this is why you should hate white people, or this is why you should hate America, because it was built on racism and sexism and oppression and all these things. And it teaches students now to hate their country now for their sins of this country's past. And so that's what Jesse Lee Peterson is talking about. Communism and socialism is yes, clearly it's happening right now. I mean, the whole reason why we are having all these homophobic isms and sexisms and all these isms, as Jesse Lee Peterson puts it, is coming from this Marxist ideology, this communist socialist ideology that is now disguised as social justice. So it's important that we teach that so we don't fall into these traps again as a country. What do you guys think about that? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. Let's continue.
Doing for themselves. As a matter of fact, that's what the Democrats want to do by way of the government, is to control the people by giving them things and thinking for them and providing, rather than providing the folks providing for themselves.
Who is a prominent Democrat who's a socialist?
Communism exists.
Who is a prominent Democrat that's a communist?
Wow, that's a good one. You know those four radical women that, who are those stupid women? The one from New York and Detroit. What? What? Yeah, the Squad. Those are perfect example of communism. I can't think of the name. They're so stupid.
Sure. So they
Cortez, I believe, from New York. That's a nutcase. I don't even understand why anyone would even listen to her.
Right.
Let's more vote for her. But you have the other one out of what? Ilhan Omar and another one.
And what communist
Khalid.
what communist policy have they advocated for?
They want to take care of the people.
They want to take care of the
They
people.
want to think for the people. They want to give free health care, free everything for the folks. Not all are they evil. It's pure communism.
Jesse, do you know what communism is?
Yes.
What is it?
the people when someone else want to control you. It's about controlling other people.
Communism is controlling other people. That's interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay. You've really said a lot here, and you know, I'm doing the best I can to sort of keep up with all of it. Tell me, when you look at Donald Trump, you've told us all of the things that you think he's done great, except then you said you don't really care about those things like economics and trade and all of that stuff.
I care about them, but that's not my thing. I don't pay a lot of attention to that.
Right. So here's my question. Are you able to identify anything you don't like that Donald Trump has done?
I don't know how much I agree with him on letting the inmates out of the prisons.
Which inmates are those? Which inmates are those? Which inmates are those?
You know how they let a lot of the prisons out by saying that they're there because they sold pot or their crime wasn't bad enough to keep them in prison. Some kind of dumb stuff like that.
You don't like that?
I don't know how much I support that because I haven't had time to really look into that. I just feel that if you do the crime, you should do the time, and it doesn't matter what color you are.
Right.
I'm not in total support of that.
And did you?
And one
Sure.
other that might make you feel good on the inside. I don't like the fact that right now there's a position open on the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yes.
I don't like the fact that he is nominating a woman just because it's a woman.
Really?
In America, it should be the best qualified person, and not even say, hey, I'm going to put a woman there, or I'm going to put a man there, I'm going to put a black there, I'm going to put a homosexual there, or anything like that. But I'm going to look and find the best person that's qualified, and that's the person I'm going to put in that position. That is the American way.
So it's sort of identity politics that Trump is playing in a sense.
On this part, I don't like that, no.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Certainly.
Into the hands of the Democrats. When you do that, and you and I know that the Democratic Party is an evil party, it has no godly values at all.
You know what's weird about that, Jeff?
So Pakman thought he could come in here and have some fun, act like a complete jackass, and kind of treat Jesse Lee Peterson like he's some sort of moron here. But no, he asked some questions. Jesse Lee Peterson answered them. He thought he could get him on like the whole well, is there anything that that Donald Trump has done that you don't like? And Jesse Lee Peterson thought about it, and he was like, okay, yeah, I don't like how he did this, and I'm pretty sure David Pakman didn't understand, or David Pakman wasn't expecting that. He was probably just thinking Jesse Lee Peterson was going to go up on there and just be all like, oh no, I love everything that he does. But nah. And that's the thing that these Democrats don't get, these lefties like David Pakman and stuff. They call us a cult. Like they think that we just follow Donald Trump with whatever he says, and that's couldn't be further from the truth. We don't. Yeah, overwhelmingly we agree with what Donald Trump says, but no, we don't just follow everything that he says or does. Prime example, the jab. Donald Trump kept trying to promote the jab even after every one of his supporters were clearly against the jab. And he still tried to promote it, and he got booed at his own rallies because of it. Booed at his own rallies. And ever since then, he kind of stopped talking about it. So yeah, you notice he doesn't promote it anymore. He doesn't talk about it. But that's just one example. But yes, I could even name off some things I'm not a fan of either. But overall, I'm mega, and I think Donald Trump's going to do a great job in his presidency. And it's always funny, David Pakman always tries to do these gotchas, like, well, who are these socialists, prominent socialists? And yeah, the first people that came up in my mind was the squad, like Jesse Lee Peterson said. There's also Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is a prominent socialist and Marxist and stuff like that. He's another one. He's a big one. If you would have gotten elected president, we would probably be... the country might possibly be worse off than under Joe Biden if Bernie Sanders got elected. Possibly. Who knows? But yeah, even if these Democrats aren't personally, like in their personalized socialists, or they don't really believe in communism or whatever, they do promote it. They do promote the minority of the party. They echo it and they promote this stuff. So even if they're not personally one, they do sound like one in the way that they talk with this equity and all these things. But what do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. And if you do enjoy content like this, I got a whole bunch more goodies for you on the screen to click away and enjoy.